Hello YouTube, my name is Paul. Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to a collection video. Been threatening these ones for quite some time now, so I thought, you know what, it's about time I delivered on my promise. I was thinking to myself, I'll start off with probably the oldest games console there is. A system I never had back in the day, it's just one I wanted because of what it is really. It's more of a curio than it is an item that I would ever use, to be fair. Getting right up to the present day, so by the time I get around to making those final videos, you're probably looking at 50 years of gaming history. From before I was even born. Hopefully I'll still be alive when I make them in 18 months time. But yeah, 50 years, unbelievable, isn't it? But I always wanted one of these machines, these Magnavox Odysseys, since realising that actually they are the first released home consoles. Slightly different to what we're used to. Well, slightly different is an understatement. It's hugely different to what we're used to, which we'll see as we go through the video. But yeah, so I thought I'd start off with this one, then moving on to the Atari 2600. A machine I did have back in the day and thoroughly enjoyed playing. For me personally, it's the first experience I had of video games. Knew of arcade's existence, but actually the first time I actually played any video games was on the Atari. So we talk about games like Pac-Man, Space Invaders and stuff like that. That's how I remember the games, rather than going to an arcade, which, to be fair, there weren't many of those where I used to live, where I grew up. Not until later on anyway. I wasn't old enough to go into a pub to play them either, which was a shame, but that's just part and parcel of being a young kid. So yeah, I thought I'd start off with the Odyssey, and the reason I started off with the Odyssey, not only because it's the first console, but I've never actually tested it after having it about 6 months. I thought, you know what, we'll open it up, we'll go for it. I said it's not an unboxing video, but it kind of is really. But the idea was just to show you guys what's in the box. In hindsight, I wish I had a manual for the Odyssey to go through, because it lists every single component that should be in that box. Because it's not just a console and it is a board game, well, it has board game elements to it, I wish I knew what I was buying before I bought it. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link to that very same manual in the description box below. In case you ever wanted to get an Odyssey, you can go through that manual just to make sure everything is there in the box. Because God knows how many pieces there are in the box. I would say there's hundreds of them. But yeah, so a bit of an unboxing video, but not. A bit of a, actually let's take it out of the box and see if it works or not. There were some unexpected consequences, I've got to say. Yeah, I just thought I'd start off right at the very beginning. I haven't got any games for this, not any games that you could buy separately, which is a shame, but I will leave some pictures sporadically through the video, just so you can see what they were like. But yes, hope you enjoy the series anyway. Like I say, it might take some time to do. Let's crack on with the first and the only Magnavox Odyssey.
Magnavox presents Odyssey, the electronic game of the future. Odyssey easily attaches to any brand TV, black and white or color, to create a closed-circuit electronic playground. Odyssey gives you all the exciting action of hockey and 11 other challenging play and learning games for the entire family. Odyssey, a new dimension for your television, now at your Magnavox dealer. He's listed in the yellow pages.
Right then, let's have a look at the actual box. It's not going to be an unboxing video, but what I will do is just have a quick peruse around the box, because it's pretty distinct, I would say. But again, like I said, I've had this now since I would say about 6 months. I've never tested it, so what I thought I'll do is test it. I'm not hopeful. I'm not expecting it to work. It's the first time I bought these C batteries, probably for decades, to be honest. It's been a long old stretch. But yeah, I do love at the side of the box there, it says for use on tellies between 18 and 25 inches on the diagonal. Yeah. But yeah, 1972, the original one came out in America. I believe it was sometime like September 1972, a couple of years before I was even born. But yeah, very distinct packaging, I do love it. That's just a clip there of the overlays which are in the box. Now, yeah, it's a strange one, this one, because not only is it the first video game console ever released, it almost resembles, in some cases, a board game. So yeah, you're going to get a few jump cuts. Like I said, it's not an unboxing video. And the purpose of this is just to show you guys, if you've never seen one before, what Odyssey looks like, and for me to test it. Yeah, so inside the packaging is mostly, like I said, bits and pieces which you use in conjunction with the games. Now, as you can see, there's a hell of a lot of polystyrene in this box. Loads of it. Now, the unfortunate thing is mine, I think I said before, isn't complete. And once you get one, or even before you get one, I should say, you should go through the instruction manual, which will give you some indication of what should be in the box. But yeah, I'm missing loads of the old peripherals, which is a shame, really. There's your little cartridgey thingamajigs. Obviously not ROM carts, there's no ROMs in them. Some overlays, which I'll show you here, which look pretty cool, don't they? I've got to say, they literally go over the top of a smaller TV. Because not only have you got a set for one size, I think you might even have a set for 3 sizes. But yeah, it's a very bizarre piece of kit. Yeah, I'd say they're pretty cool. But I do have all the overlays. Now, I'm not sure how much it will cost if I was to go and buy all the bits and pieces over time. I don't think it's even possible. You're probably better off just going out and buying yourself another Magnavox Odyssey. But yeah, as you can see there, they look pretty cool, don't they, actually? But yeah, just to give you that added effect. Bearing in mind, you can only have, I think there's like 3 squares on the screen at any one time. Mad, isn't it? But I think there's 3 types, or 3 sizes, I believe, of inlay. In fact, there might just be the 2. Now, this manual is extremely useful. What I'll do is probably leave a link in the description box below of where you can get a PDF of the manual. So if you ever wanted to buy one of these puppies, the manual does contain a hell of a lot of information, obviously, about what should be with each game. It's crazy, isn't it, having a manual that's actually older than me. So yeah, I'm already missing the signal box. But yeah, there you go. So something like tennis tells you what you should have inside. And I think there's 1 or 2 games that literally have an absolutely flipping load of stuff you should have. This football. Now this is one of the games that I'm missing loads of stuff, as you can see. So yeah, just to give you a bit of a glimpse really of what should be inside one of these packs. I love it. I love the fact I've got it. It's more of a curio for definite than it is something I've ever used, to be fair. Stickers, as you can see, some of these stickers have already been put onto the inlays or overlays. Maps. Bits of card. So yeah, a few bits and bobs in that top layer. But yeah, I'm missing a few bits. For example, like poker chips, for example. So I'm not really quite sure what to do with that. I don't know if there's anywhere I can go to get spare parts from. It's unlikely. I can only imagine it uses exactly the same parts as the American version. But yeah, what I'll do is just take this layer off and we'll have a look at more of the hardware. Right, so yeah, this is the final layer, 1 or 2 layers. As you can see, there should be a lot more bits and bobs in here, but mine is incomplete, as I've already mentioned. There's the controllers, or I guess they're just called controllers. Fair size, quite chunky. Got to say, a lot of brown cable in there. I think that's the RF cable. They'd be amazed if this thing works, I tell you. Load more cards here for the games. I think I do have most of the cards, thankfully. But yeah, it's mad to think how much is actually in this contraption. Really is tons of it, isn't there? The console itself, which is a fair size. I was quite surprised, quite taken aback by the size of it when I got it. Lovely old font there. Very futuristic for 50 years ago. Card slot. Wouldn't be a console of the 70s without the old faux wood effect. But yeah, it's a fair size. It is a fair size console. I say it's not that far off the size of a Mega Drive, but it's certainly probably about twice as high. But yeah. So once we set it up, we'll have an overview of the console. I thought I'd just show you what's inside the packaging. But I have cheated. I have managed to battle my way through to opening this. But yeah, I can't wait to actually set it up to see if it works, to be honest. But yeah, some useful information on the base of the system. A Run 1, made in the US of A. I believe they were made, obviously in the USA, ported across to Europe. Some modifications made inside the machine to get it to run on a PAL system. This has got components in it dated from 1974, which kind of makes sense. So yeah, it may have been an initial early run from sort of 72 into 73. But yeah, unfortunately there's a massive slip missing here that's been torn off, which has a lot of data about this particular unit. And there's a very useful site you can go on, which kind of deciphers information really to let you know where your machine come from. But yeah, it's mad to think this is as old as me. It's got 47 years old, and yeah, in some respects it looks it, but the console itself isn't too bad. Slightly discoloured, but yeah, that's pretty much what's inside the box. But like I said, there's quite a bit missing. I would say I reckon there's about 30% at least missing inside this packaging. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is put the batteries in, set it up, and hopefully we can get a signal. But yeah. Well, you wouldn't quite Adam and Eve this, but I think the old Magnavox Odyssey has killed the TV. Brilliant. So yeah, I can't tell if it works or not. There's no light to indicate if the console even works. The old card is in the slot. It won't go any further than that. But yeah, I can't believe that. Typical, isn't it? Typical. But yeah. So it might just be the TV's a bit old now and died itself, or the Odyssey is just too powerful, too manly a machine to ever use on our modern day equipment. But yeah, it's quite a funky looking piece of kit. It's a shame. I'm not going to plug it into any more TVs just yet, just in case. But yeah, lovely piece of kit to look at. I do like it. I do like it. But yeah, there's slots there for two controllers, as you can see. A speed dial, good old fashioned speed. I'm not sure what the ACC bit is though, to be fair. You can obviously use the external power supply, but I certainly wouldn't be using a 50-year-old power supply in this. But yeah, I mean, again, this book is awesome. It really is. I know what ACC is now. It's for like the light gun peripheral. Yeah, that's what it's for. But yeah, there you go. So I did clean this up. I'm not going to retro bright it. I'll leave it exactly how it is. I think the English part of the dial, I believe, is to like curl the ball or curl the block on the screen, I believe. But yeah, it's quite a cumbersome piece of kit to use, isn't it? But yeah, it's certainly a nice curio to have in the collection, though. Certainly something I quite like. But I would love to get hold of a complete set. But trying to find a PAL one full stop is bloody hard. But yeah, I'm disappointed I can't get that telly to work. That's so typical. It literally is not having none of it. Christ. So yeah, there we go. That's a bit of a letdown. But oh well, better luck next time. We'll try again. If it knackers another TV, that might be the end of it. What I'll do now is open up and we can have a look inside. Because it's quite strange how this thing works, really. Bear in mind, there's no ROMs at all on the little cards there. It's just a way of switching the games around, because the games are already inside the machine. But I'll have a quick look anyway. Yeah, I forgot to mention, when I got this machine and opened it up, that piece of foam there, literally I just touched it with a minimal pressure and it dissolved into nothing. Unbelievable. But yeah, the machine itself then, yeah, I mean the game's already in the system. I'm not an electrician, I haven't got a clue what I'm really looking at. But even the circuit board looks like it's hand-drawn. This machine was in development for a number of years, from what I've read. But yeah, look at all the games. I think it does actually say which games they are. But yeah, bloody hell. Like I say, if I knew a bit more about it, I would probably just get out the light a minute to be able to see a bit better. But yeah, one of these, not sure what they're called, technical term, but one of these are dated 1974. Which gave me some indication that this machine obviously was built in that year. I think they stopped production in 1975, or stopped selling them. But even the capacitors don't look too bad. Don't look like they're blown. They might have been dried out maybe, but it's certainly not blown. But yeah, I thought I'd show you the inside because it's quite curious compared to what we look at nowadays. It's amazing, really. But yeah, it's a shame it didn't load. It is a shame. There's some more detail around this model, but I think it's exactly the same as what's on the back of or underneath the console anyway, so there's nothing new there. But yeah. So I'm not quite sure what happens. I'm not, like I said, not being an electrician or anything like that. I'm not sure how it... yeah, not sure how it works, really. Yeah. But yeah, thought I'd show you the inside of that. A bit different, isn't it? There we go. That's the inside of the Magnavox Odyssey. Now what I thought I'd do before I put the Odyssey away is just show you some of these inlays, or overlays, I keep calling them inlays, and what they look like. Obviously I can't put them on a proper TV screen, sort of an old school CRT. Assuming they were called CRTs back in the 70s. I guess they were. But yeah, they did emit some static, didn't they? But basically the static would hold these in place. And some of the accessories you got within the pack would then either be stuck to these overlays, or you'd use them in conjunction with the game. So what I said earlier about it being like a board game, you can see why. Yeah, there's numerous of them. Now I know when you buy the games independently of the machine, you tend to get more overlays and more accessories. So yeah, I mean, I've not had any additional games for this set, unfortunately. But certainly something I'd be interested in. Now, a question I have, which I don't know the answer to: do American games work with the PAL console? I assume it must do, as the little cards can't be any different. It's just channeling the current or wherever it does in a different direction, or they just switches. I don't really know, to be fair. I'll just change the game over. I think all the games already exist, like I said, on the Odyssey. So yeah, they're pretty cool, really. You certainly couldn't use them on today's TVs. They just wouldn't stick. In fact, today's TVs are a complete different shape, aren't they? So, which makes it kind of useless, really. But last one. But yeah, I thought I'd just show you them, just so you know what they look like, what the games may have looked like. The only difference between what you're looking at there and what will be on the screen are 3 dots, pretty much. And that's it. Let's go back upstairs. Ah, didn't expect that. Did not expect to be destroying a TV. Especially if not from a battery-powered console. How bizarre. Now, if I had a 50-year-old flipping adapter plugged in the back, I'd expect that. I'd expect probably a lot worse, to be fair. But yeah, it's a lovely machine to have in the collection. One that I probably will never sit and use, I've got to be honest. But I wouldn't even know where to send it off to be repaired if I wanted it to be repaired, to be honest. But I certainly would like to get myself a complete boxed PAL version, or at least get a US version complete, bring it across and put the PAL unit inside it, inside the box, because there's nothing to denote what console should be on the box. Like modern systems, you've got the serial number on the box and all that sort of stuff, whereas the Magnavox Odyssey hasn't got anything like that. So you can probably quite easily just plonk it in, assuming that the PAL version and the NTSC version are identical. Which I think they are, there's no reason why they shouldn't be. But yeah, so hopefully you don't make the same mistakes as me. Take your time with these machines. Certainly look at the manual anyway. I will link some videos in the description box as well, especially one where someone is playing through all 28 games. Even though technically they're all the same game, more or less, there are 28 games. Now some of those games obviously included with the Magnavox Odyssey when you buy it, and a lot of them are standalone games. I can't remember how many standalone games there are. There's at least a dozen that I can think of. And the only peripheral I've ever seen for the system is the rifle, which looks absolutely cool. Reminds me a bit of the old Tin Can Alley rifle, which is great, but I'd love to have that. Brilliant, wouldn't it? Thing is, these machines and their components and their games are getting more and more expensive all the time. It's become more and more scarce. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, the next video will be something a bit more meaty. It'll be the Atari, which will be over multiple different videos, looking at all different aspects of the Atari, from my own memories of it, to the games, to the consoles themselves, and sort of paraphernalia that kind of came from the Atari, like the Pac-Man stickers and Pac-Man this and Pac-Man that, and we've even got school books that have the original Pac-Man stickers that I stuck on them back in the sort of early 80s really. But yeah, it's amazing what memories these machines stir. Once they get stirred, that is, because at the moment they're kind of dormant in my brain. But yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to the Atari, because it, for me, is where it all began. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for listening to me going on a little bit. Thank you very much for subscribing. Take care, and bye for now.